What is going on, everybody? John Anthony from ChairShot Sports. How's everybody doing? And welcome. Welcome to the first episode of the ChairShot Sports Week in Wrestling show on Wednesdays every week at 6:30 here. First off, obviously, I'm new here. Thank you for having me. I'm John Anthony. I'm the CEO and creator of ChairShot Media Group. Very so blessed and so thankful to be here on bodyslam.net, given this platform to have our show that we were carrying previously on our YouTube and our X and things like that. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Welcome to everybody seeing me for the first time. And for those that I know from YouTube and X and Instagram, things like that, have subscribed or watching, welcome back. For a lot of first timers, listen, I've been doing this for a long time, about 3, 4 years now. We have our channel over on YouTube and X. Got about 14 or 50 creators that run with me, weekly stuff, Monday through Sunday, all the time. The channel is always bumping. So welcome. Welcome to the show. This show is going to be here weekly on Wednesdays, talking about all the hottest topics in WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, anything in wrestling that's hot and controversial being talked about. We're going to talk about it right here at 6:30 every Wednesday. So, with that being said, thank you for having me, Body Slam. Appreciate it, man. Hopefully, this is a long and fruitful relationship on both ends. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your fans and everyone that's seeing my face for the first time. As you can see, it's kind of a cool setup. We have belts. We have crowns for King and Queen of the Ring. A lot of cool stuff going on. So those that are going to get to the chat, feel free to ask me any questions. I'm an open book, and we'll talk about more where you can find me outside of here if you want to do that once we're done. But let's just jump right into it, guys. It's been a very tumultuous week. A lot of controversy going on in regards of political things, of WWE going across the seas, to injury bugs, everything going on. So let's just jump right into it, guys. Let's start with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has obviously been noticeably absent the past couple weeks on Raw. He's getting the quote unquote running from the grind stuff thrown at him. Last time we saw him was in his in ring match against Gunther, getting tapped out. Haven't seen him since. Pat finally took to social media to kind of address things, talk about it. Corey Graves has been an awesome sub in. Him and Cole are great together. Say what you want about Pat McAfee. Randy, what's going on? Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for jumping in. Corey Graves, once Michael Cole is done and hangs up that headset, is got to be the future. The man is amazing. He's got a great look, a great sound. It just feels like a wrestling show when he's in there and he's on commentary talking about things. Pat McAfee, I see what he does. He brings the energy, he brings the audience, he brings the notoriety. He's almost like that's the closest you're going to get to me or you throwing on throwing on the cans, getting behind a table watching a live event with Michael Cole. Pat McAfee first as a fan. Obviously, he's there to make sure we're furthering storylines, talking about stuff like that, but he's so much first a fan, and you get that vibe. And that's why him and Michael Cole really are great together. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, Corey Graves is just money on that mic. Obviously, some stuff went down earlier in the year, uh, crashing out a little bit, was down at NXT. You see him coming back up, and obviously, the one thing we know about Pat McAfee is when September rolls around, he's going to be going doing College Game Day, and Corey Graves is going to be keeping that seat warm until college football is over. He did take, like I said, Pat McAfee did go to social media, quote, continuing to just kind of catch up on life as a whole. Post Money in the Bank, pre-Night of Champions feels like a good time. I was getting pretty exhausted there, so shout out to everyone at the WWE, looking out for me too. Very thankful. Did not give any kind of hint as far as when he would be returning. A lot of people think he might be coming back this upcoming Monday. Post Night of Champions, since he obviously came out here and talked about him being away. Obviously, he does have his Monday through Friday show on ESPN, the Pat McAfee show. Does a lot of stuff as well. He has his own business, and don't forget the biggest job, the hardest job of all. Speaking from experience with 2 little ones here at home, he's a dad. That's the biggest thing, and just catching up with your family is one of the biggest things I know I balance with my job, doing this and other stuff as well. So, with that being said, excited for Pat McAfee to come back. Again, I do like Corey Graves. Say what you want about Pat. He adds definitely a different dynamic to the show. But when Corey is next to Michael Cole, the OG unit of those two, the show flows, it works, and it's just an awesome wrestling show to listen to on a weekly basis. So, next thing I want to talk about is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes this past weekend at Fanatics had some awesome comments. And I think it rolls back to what The Rock was talking about on the Pat McAfee show a while back after John Cena, quote unquote, sold his soul. And after WrestleMania and Cody losing the belt, The Rock goes on to talk about Cody was approached about selling his soul, and the time wasn't right to pull the trigger. Cody wasn't feeling it. And obviously, they went the route of John Cena, and now we have obviously the John Cena heel retirement run that we're in right now, going into July. So almost half the year done, and I think the run's been good. We're going to talk about that probably next week, talking about how we're going to break that down the rest of the year. But I think the run has been good. Obviously, when CM Punk got involved with John, definitely had a great dynamic. Definitely got a lot of people more uh, into the match, into the rivalry itself, and into the heel run in general. Cody obviously is your QB1. He's your top baby face, top merch seller, killing the game. Um, but he did go on to say, you know, you can really only be at the top for so long before people really get sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. Quote, we are definitely at the tail end of it. I think we may have a solid 1 year or possibly 3 years. I'm not changing till I myself am changed. This is awesome. He comes out here and a little weird to me, especially the way WWE has been doing things, kind of playing things a little close to the chest, not letting us out. Obviously, The Rock showing he's a little tone deaf with everything, coming out here and talking about it first. Now Cody has to come out and talk about it. I, for one, can tell you, in seeing him in AEW, um, I need a heel Cody. I need the blonde hair to start going away. I need the black hair to start creeping up. I need to see maybe the suits look a little tethered, right? Little disheveled. Maybe the suit jacket comes off. Maybe it's just an open collar. Maybe just the suit, the suit pants and just a polo on top. It just starts to start like erode, erodes, if you will, erode into what he just said is him being changed, him feeling it out with the universe, feeling it with WWE when he knows that time is now and we can pull the trigger. Where there's one thing Cody doesn't like, and he said this. It's not like I'm making this up, and it's like an ego thing. He does not like being booed. He does not like being the bad guy. He likes being QB1. He likes being the baby face over with the fans, just being that guy. But Cody can admit there's only so long before there is a shelf life and there is an interest in seeing him be in heel and be the bad guy, quote unquote. I, for one, can tell you Cody is one of the one guys where he's shown the kinks in the armor leading into WrestleMania, even after losing the belt. You see, you see the kinks. You see him just getting upset and just getting very riled up and just upset that he has to be this goody guy on a night in and night out basis. And that's why these quotes definitely tell me I would like to think we probably maybe have until I want to say WrestleMania maybe 43. I don't know how it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, how they're going to do it, how they're going to make it make sense storyline wise. I would love to see a heel Cody against a face Randy. Obviously, Randy has a couple of years left to tank. Maybe Randy gets that championship, and now Cody turns around as being the heel, and he chases Randy. I don't know, but Cody Rhodes as a heel done right has a lot of money written in it. Has a lot of money at that helm. A lot. I'm sure the merch is going to slap. Now it's really the American Nightmare kind of thing going on. I think we get a little taste of what Cody was on the Indies when he went and made a name for himself before coming back with the Bucks and Omega and making AEW. So I'm here for it. I think it's going to be exciting. But Cody's a smart man. Cody is a very good businessman, and obviously seeing what he did in AEW and seeing what he's done here, very 180 from the two. When he decides to pull that trigger and move on and being the bad guy, whether it be Raw or on SmackDown. But I can say right now, him going to he has to be like the top heel. He has to go all out and be. If you're gonna be number one on this side, you gotta do it on the other side, right? You gotta be the number one heel. And I think Cody can get that done. I think going to put him in the right places, in the right matchups, in the right rivalries for him to make it the most of that. So obviously, we're going to see, obviously, before he hangs it up, go back over to being the face before hanging up those boots and calling it a career. So speaking, that's obviously Cody. It's Pat McAfee. Folks that are on TV right now. Let's talk about somebody who will not be on TV for a little bit. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, Liv Morgan suffered an unfortunate injury. And everyone, I've said it before on a couple of our shows, the Raw Rundown, on the SmackDown Shakedown. Prayers out to Liv Morgan, man. The MVP of 2024. Did an amazing work with Dom, amazing work in the Judgment Day, and was just hitting the ground running in 2025, was doing amazing stuff. I, for one, I'll put my hand up. 2 years ago, I was probably one of the biggest Liv Morgan haters. I really was. Bad in ring work. bad mic skills. The title runs were meh. What she's done, how she turned it around and just made herself a force was amazing to watch. It's great to see, and it sucks that she's not going to be on TV. Probably leading, most case, probably leading up into the Royal Rumble. A lot of people are feeling bad for Liv Morgan. A lot of people are upset. There's a lot of Liv Morgan fans out there, and for you, I apologize. I know it sucks, um, but I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, it's probably the best thing that happened to Liv Morgan. This injury, looking back on this, when we're sitting here a year from now, it's going to be next year, next June, next July. We're having this show, and we're talking about, oh my God, the run that Liv is on. I'm telling you, this is good for her. Let me tell you why. Obviously, a lot of things had to get rewritten. A lot of storylines had to get scrapped out and thrown away. And going into Evolution, there were a couple storylines in the next 3 to 4 months, short term, that were going to be. A couple of the things were Io and Liv were going to be going for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, Raquel and Liv against the Bellas at Evolution was another storyline, and one that was rumored for SummerSlam was going to be a mixed tag match. It was Dominic and Liv taking on Rox and Finn, which leads to me they were going to be pulling the trigger on somewhat of a breakup or the internal struggles, civil war, if you will, inside the Judgment Day. I agree. The roster is so deep, man. And I don't want to get into the whole thing. You'll learn this from me, folks. The one thing I guess I'll say while we're talking about it, I'm equal opportunity everything, man. I'm WWE, I'm AEW, I'm TNA, I'm New Japan, NWA. I'm here for all of it, man. I love all of wrestling. It's my buffet. I eat what I like. I like all of it. I'm walking away with a full plate on a weekly basis. And if you follow me over on ChairShot Sports, and me and a lot of the folks that do this, we're all in it. We're in everything. I got my hands in everything. Very, very busy man. God bless my family for always being in front of this camera on a weekday basis, let alone weekly. So with that being said, I agree that the division is so deep, and why I think this is great for Liv, it's also so good for Rox. The storyline, this is really going to test the metal. For me, this is going to show the sniff test of WWE creative. You have it in front of you. Say what you want about Roxanne, right? I know a lot of people are putting a lot of stake in, the wins, the losses. Listen, that doesn't matter. Rox is 21, soon to be 22 years old. Such a long life in this industry. Maybe she goes to AEW at some point, we don't know, but such a long life in the wrestling business. She's charismatic. She does such a great job of getting over in her character. I know people have talked about her size before. It does not matter. Does not matter. Not the coin the hole, not the size of the dog in the fight, size of the fight the dog. Roxanne will go out there and give you 125%, which you just saw this past Monday in the semis against Jade, man. Rox looked amazing, and kudos to Jade Cargill for making Rox look so good. Rox was my personal pick when the first brackets came out before getting into the semis and everything like that. I picked Rox and Sammy to win, but obviously both my picks are out, so we'll see what happens at Night of Champions. But I had Roxanne going all the way, winning the whole thing, and I thought maybe if she wasn't, I got excited with Liv going out, not because of the injury, but I thought maybe they might turn and pivot and maybe give it to Rox to bring it back to Judgment Day, and now kind of building on Roxanne being the female in Judgment Day. Let me talk about that a little bit, kind of getting off a tangent. I apologize. Getting back to why I think this is good for Liv. So Liv goes away. Liv is obviously horrible injury. She's going to rehab. She's going to come back 110%. I'm here for it. I'm very happy to see when she does come back. Here's the thing. Two things. We'll start with one. This is great for Roxanne. I've heard a lot of people talk about maybe Roxanne like taking on the Liv persona and dressing like Liv and getting with Dom. We don't need to make it that deep. We don't need to go crazy. Listen. I saw it with Mommy to her, Mommy to Liv. I don't need the whole. Listen, I don't need him throwing the Riz over to Rox. Okay, just bring him his chicken tendies. Right, just call it a day. Be there for him. Help him out in his matches. Listen, all I know is after watching Monday night and what happened when Rox came and helped Raquel, I want someone to look at me the way Raquel looks at Roxanne after she saved her. You got a couple things you can do here. Roxanne slides herself in, and she's automatically the new tag partner for Raquel. That's probably the most obvious thing you can do, right? That makes the most sense. The second thing is, this is an opportunity to put the belt on Rox early. Obviously, we want to make sure she's ready. We want to make sure it makes sense. Raw right now is kind of a 2, 3 horse kind of race right now for that women's title. Io's the title. Io is your title holder. I think with this injury to Liv, I don't know what Io is exactly doing right now. I think that kind of threw a big wrench into everything. So why not give it to Rox? Why not let Rox not, obviously being like, hey, no, I'm just here to help. I just kind of want to, hey, I got myself a title match. And now she's the women's champion, still having the gold in the Judgment Day. The big thing for me is, and here's my prediction. The big thing for me is, I think a lot of Liv Morgan folks get their wish when January rolls around. When the Rumble is in Riyadh, this upcoming January in 2026, I think we see Liv come back. Liv wins that Rumble. And it's because Rox has the belt. So we don't get this on the women's side. We don't get Liv looking around, looking like who's she gonna who's she gonna face? No, she's going right after Roxanne Perez, and she's gonna get back her women's belt that she took from her because she was injured and she took advantage of it. And that's how I think we get back into this Judgment Day Civil War splitting of it. And for those of you that want to see Judgment Day leave for a long period of time, this might be your out, but you're going to get it for another 8 to 9 months until WrestleMania. And I think they flip it at 2026. We turn that page. We have Finn and Rox, however you want to do that. Finn, I think, he deserves his own title run, regardless of what's going on. He needs to get himself a singles run after this Judgment Day stuff because he has done yeoman's work with this group. With no Carlito, with no Dean, with no Rhea, he has done a great, great job. This sets the tone for Rox. Now she is a former women's champion, 22 years old at this point, right? Awesome resume, doing great stuff. I'm sure the tag title, technically, she's a tag holder with Raquel, filling in, obviously. And then she'll be a former world champion. At 22 years old, she already has those 2 credits on her resume. Boom, you hit the ground running, and she does her thing. You probably move over to SmackDown in some kind of weird draft, and then she gets her hands dirty over there with a whole bunch of people, maybe Zelina, all those folks, right? But at the end of the day, you get to get Liv back. Who knows if she was going to win this title off of Io? She probably was, I got to say, because Liv with the gold right now is money, especially in Judgment Day. But her and Dom, right? The split needs to happen. Her and Dom need to be a power couple, a face power couple, with Liv coming back the way she is, chasing Rox. Rox goes to that dark place, the same character you saw in NXT as the women's champion. She brings that out, does it up on Raw. Now Liv gets that belt, brings it back. Her and Dom are the biggest power couple in the company. Face so over. The merch is selling. The money's flowing. These two have gold. Book it. Creative. Book it. It's right in front of you. You get to help Finn, Rox, build up Liv's return. Dom stays relevant, even with his injury right now. Stays relevant. Raquel still gets to keep the tag belts. Who knows when they lose those? That relationship probably goes out the window because she teamed with Rox. But and everything just starts kind of like the dominoes start to fall, and then Judgment Day breaks up. And in 2026, after WrestleMania, all these folks had to go on their own way, and the Judgment Day, after almost 4.5 years, is disbanded. And for what it was, hate it or love it. It did a great job. Carlito was great. Everything was awesome. Did great for Rhea, did great for Damian, all the stuff. But I digress. And don't forget JD McDonough. JD McDonough, I feel like, is the one guy who needs to get the hell out of this group and go have a singles run. This man is an amazing wrestler. He's awesome when he does in the ring. Um, so I have heard, not to get on tangent, I saw the comment. I'm Perkin, what's going on? Thank you. Aren't both the Righteous and Private Party WWE bound? I've heard the rumors of Private Party. I've not heard anything on my in my circles. Is that being confirmed? The Righteous, I think that all depends on Karrion Kross. I don't know how you let Karrion walk. You have him go somewhere else, and then you bring the Righteous in. The Righteous and Karrion, it's almost like a left and a right, like pair of shoes. Like you need that. You have one with the other, and having those three, it's not necessarily anyone being a leader, but the fact of all three of them being in a trio together would be amazing. Amazing stuff. But yeah, sorry about to go on that whole rant, to go on the whole thing, but I think really creative really has their metal tested for them right now. If this is the way they can go with it, you're literally feeding 5 different mouths because of one injury. And again, it sucks. I don't want to come over like I'm like, yay, Liv got her. It sucks, man, because they literally all the evolution plans had to get scrapped. So obviously, I'm sure we'll see Nikki and Brie, maybe just Nikki, and however they're gonna maybe throw her with Becky, whatever they're gonna do. Maybe something with Lyra. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, Also, to a comment about Julia, WWE have to let Zelina get at least one win over Julia. I believe I meant to say Zelina. It's all good. Like I can read between the lines. Julia, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think she needs to be the United States champion. Obviously they pulled them up pretty quick from NXT. Oh, I apologize. It's so hot in the room. I have a coaster and the cup sticks to the coaster, so I pull it up and it falls down. Yeah, I think Julia getting that belt off of Zelina is a thing, and nothing against Zelina. I'm a big ZV fan. Um, but and her having this title was great because I mean she was literally in like 5 different matches for it. Finally got it off of Chelsea Green, and a huge Chelsea Green fan as well. You need to elevate Chelsea to get a women's championship match where it makes sense. Obviously, don't just put the belt on her, but if it can make sense, you can make it happen. Give her like a 4 month run. I mean, with the Hervis, it's just like every other male faction you have with two. Seth Rollins when he gets that belt is going to have Braun Breaker and his boys and Paul Heyman, everyone helping him out. You know what I mean? And Bronson Reed. So why not do it for Chelsea? Give it to Chelsea. Have her run a 2-3 month thing. Maybe give it to her after Mania and have her run it Backlash and have her run past Money in the Bank. And then once someone's the Money in the Bank, maybe have her drop it at SummerSlam. But I think Chelsea definitely deserves a women's championship run with the Hervis helping her out, all that kind of stuff we see week in and week out. But at the end of the day, let me just kind of put a bow on that. Liv Morgan, injury sucks, but I think it's the best thing to happen for her. I think she comes back 2026. She's a Royal Rumble winner for the women's. Goes on to Mania. At that point, Rox is champion, takes it from Rox. Her and Dom move on to the rest of 2026 as WWE flips that calendar, flips the page into the new year, and that's your power couple and your big face couple going over and writing out the rest of the year as champions. So I don't really want to talk a lot about Night of Champions, only because we're doing a prediction show tomorrow night on our other networks. I'm going to talk about that before we get out of here. Asuka, obviously, that's a big want for a lot of people in the IWC. I get that, and I'll talk a lot about that tomorrow. Also, the men's as well. The men's, there's so much story you can write about that as well. So much behind that, so much history and legacy, if you will. The one thing I do want to talk about Night of Champions real quick, and I know it's been beat to death on, I put some stuff up on socials. I know a lot of other people have. Everyone apparently became ambassadors to countries and became political experts in foreign policy and everything like that. Listen, I'm not going to sit here. We don't do political I don't do red, green, Trump, whoever. I do wrestling. I look at it as wrestling, and that's how I look at things, right? Me personally, my thing is obviously I would imagine at a company like TKO that runs UFC they're in Dubai, they're in Saudi, they're doing things in Riyadh, they're doing those things over there, right? They're a smart company. You don't want to be on the hook if God forbid there's casualties or injuries to anyone that's employed by you, correct? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the thing. So my stance on the whole thing was as long as all that matters strip it all away. Take away the political, take away how you feel about the actual bombing, whatever you want to do. My thought process is this: as long as you can get the staff and the wrestlers from one place to another, over to Saudi, back in that airplane, and back over to the States, I'm here for it. If you cannot look in the mirror and be 100% sure that that is what is going to happen, you have any kind of inkling of, a plane getting shot down, the arena getting bombed. There's a lot of people in there, including the audience. You know what I mean? It's again, not getting political about it, not talking about the whole thing as far as like happy hump day. What's going on, Denise? Thank you so much for jumping in. Appreciate you. Happy Wednesday. So my thing is this: as long as I can be safe, there's been a ceasefire talked about, all this other stuff. As long as the talent and the staff are safe, they can get to where they got to go, put on an amazing show, which I think the card is going to be awesome. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow night. What I want to see is everyone getting back safe to their families, their wives, their kids, everyone else, their significant others, whatever they have. That's all I care about. And I think they can get that done. And obviously, you want to care about the people that are also in attendance. That is the biggest thing as well. You want to take care of those people as well. They're in an arena paying a lot of money to watch these superstars put on a hell of a show. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm a little 2 cents about it. Could not talk about it as hot as a topic as it was this past week leading into Saturday. But the way it's looking, things are going on. Friday night, SmackDown and Night of Champions is going to be held over there. Everything's looking good. So hopefully, thoughts and prayers. Everything goes as planned. Everything's safe. Planes land. Everyone gets back, and we're good to go going into Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Special time at 6 p.m. Last thing I want to talk about real quick is Hulk Hogan, Izzy Martinez, and Eric Bischoff's new Real American Freestyle Wrestling Company. Tickets are on sale right now, August 30th, over in Cleveland, Ohio. They're holding their first ever event, and as of right now, it's about 13,000 person venue set up for the stage, everything like that. Right as of right now, I think we have about 66, 67 days till the show hits. Until August, there's only 380 tickets sold. Now, obviously, a lot can happen. Obviously, it's only been a little bit since the tickets have been, out there. I know the name notoriety, especially with Izzy. Bringing Izzy in as the third man to get, the nostalgia of NWO. That's a big get for Eric and for Hulk. And the money I'm sure that all three of these men had to put in to form this, to get the wrestlers to put this on. Say what you want about Hulk Hogan, okay? I'm an Eric Bischoff guy. He's very controversial, but if you know anything about Eric Bischoff, controversy creates cash. That's what he does. So I get that. Izzy Martinez, UFC. I mean, the man trained John Jones. He's trained so many other champions. The man's name carries so much weight. I don't know if it's a Hulk Hogan thing. I don't know if it's a people being. I don't need more wrestling in my life. I don't care if it's real, if it's fake. You have WWE, AEW, NWA, TNA, New Japan, Marigold. If you go that way, then you start going New Japan, CMLL, AAA. You have UFC every Saturday night. And if you have the Fight Pass, you get UFC 5 days a week. There's a lot in the buffet, and I told you I watch a lot of the buffet. My plate is full on a constant basis. One more thing to watch? Come on, man. Come on. There's so much. It's so saturated. It's like when I live in Massachusetts, man. I walk out of my house in downtown Worcester and I walk 4 miles and I see 7 Dunkin' Donuts. It's a very tried and true brand, so it's okay to have that. When you're a new brand and your shtick is kind of wrestling, but the bare knuckle stuff, which we already have, and you're kind of talking UFC stuff. I already get that every Saturday night. Hell, the fight nights that are free on ESPN and ABC, the cards have been amazing. They don't care about you buying anymore. They want eyes on the product. And then when they do have an actual UFC insert number here, they can charge $85, and they're selling hundreds, thousands of them because people want to see that. They want to see the fighters. They want to see that stuff. So I don't know, man. I think the jury's still out in regards to the Real American Freestyle Wrestling. And again, maybe it's a Hulk Hogan thing. Obviously, very controversial figure, very polarizing. Hulk Hogan is, and I'm not taking a stance on anything about as far as Hulk Hogan. I'm just saying he's a very polarizing figure. And putting his name on something like that could or could not, may or may not turn some people off to not really watch that product. So the jury's still out. We will see. Remains to be seen what's going to happen. How many tickets they end up selling? Who knows if they cancel it? They move the venue. We'll see what happens. But in regards to Eric Bischoff and especially Izzy Martinez, I hope this takes off. I hope people kind of get into it. They kind of see. Maybe it's going to take the first event, the first show for people to see what's going on, kind of what it's about, and maybe it takes off after that. I don't know, but there's a lot of wrestling going on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, in so many avenues and so many fronts. To throw something else out here now to be like, hey, we want to do this now. That's a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Awesome stuff, guys. So listen, again, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to bodyslam.net for giving me this platform, for bringing me on and having me here. There's so many other great creators that are on this channel. I'm mutes with a lot of them, pretty much all of them over on X. Shout out to Cassidy as well. Thank you so much for taking a chance on us. I know this show is a little, it was the first one. I didn't want to go too nuts and too long in regards to stuff. But yeah, like I said, man, what we're about here over at ChairShot Sports, we're here for wrestling, man. It's just, we enjoy wrestling, all of them. Everything we keep a very even keeled eye on everything going on. And I appreciate everyone that jumped into the comments today. Thank you so much. As far as myself, ChairShot Sports, right? You can find myself over on YouTube, on X, on Instagram. Everything is at ChairShot Sports. You got about 500 subscribers over on YouTube, almost 20,000 over on X, and IG is about 300. daily posts. We have shorts. Monday night after Raw, we have the Raw rundown. Fridays after SmackDown, we have the SmackDown shakedown. We have talking TNA on a weekly basis, and also I'm also the co-host over on the lowdown with Jesse B, where we cover everything about AEW. We were afraid to talk about, especially such a great show right now, heading into the last leg of the calendar until we get to All In Texas. So great show tonight. You can catch us live over on the lowdown page over on YouTube and on X with her immediately following AEW Dynamite. Yeah, so folks, listen, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be here every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, just talking everything hot topic wise. As we get going and we get rolling on, obviously, I keep this a very interactive show. As you can see, throw something in the comments. You have some questions. I just want to go through real quick to see if there's anything else here I didn't catch. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But yeah, it's very interactive. Bring your questions, bring your comments. If I say something, you have a counterpoint, I'll pull it up. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so thank you so much again. I appreciate all of you. So yeah, you can catch me right here next Wednesday, 6:30. And if you get a little more of what we got to offer and want to check it out, go check us out again on YouTube, X, on IG. It's everything is at ChairShot Sports. And until then, we'll talk to you folks tomorrow night over on YouTube, talking about Night of Champions, the prediction show. And you can also catch us, like I said, tonight over with Jesse B on the lowdown, talking everything AEW, heading into AEW All.